The fourth principle we want to share with you is spend your time wisely. Most of us think there's just not enough time to get the things done that we want to do. But there's plenty of time. There's 168 hours in a week, 8,736 hours in a year, and 218,400 hours in the next 25 years. And for most of our students who have a much longer horizon than 25 years, well, there's like 400,000 hours. And the first thing I always tell them is take 50,000 of those hours and just have a good time. Go out and play, have fun, do the things you like to do when you're not working, sleeping, and eating. And that's important. But you also need to know how to manage your time wisely. Know your priorities. Know the opportunity cost of your time. What would you rather be doing if you weren't doing what you're doing right now? I look at other people and I'm so envious in a way. I wish I could do that. But you know, when I sit back and think about my priorities, I'd rather be doing what I'm doing as much as I value what they're doing. You got to find time for reflection. What have I learned from this experience that I just went through? How can I spend my time more wisely? All of this is so important. I want to elaborate with a few personal stories about priorities, the way I dictate my life. The seventh most important thing in my life is money. After all, I'm a business school professor. If I could win the lottery tomorrow, I'd be much happier. But you know, I wouldn't give up 1 through 6 of my priorities in order to get more of 7. So let's talk about those. The sixth most important thing in my life, and the thing I value much more than money, is my interaction with all my colleagues around the world. And those are academic colleagues, they're people in practice, all the people who I interact with outside of my college. That's the sixth most important thing in my life. And I value those interactions more than I value money. What about number 5? What's number 5? My Boston College colleagues at my home college. You see, I spend time with them every day, and I value all that time. I just love those interactions. It means a great deal to me. Number 4 is my students. Not just my current students, but my former students. Well, the third most important thing in my life is my mind. I just love to learn, and that's part of why I like spending time with my students and with my colleagues. Waking up in the morning with a fresh idea and chasing after something, trying to understand it, I get huge amounts of fulfillment from that. So number 3 in my life is my mind. And then following the Greeks, number 2 is my body, and number 1 is my soul. Let me talk about each of those. My body. Well, it didn't always used to be so important. When I was younger, I think I just took it for granted. And then I had open heart surgery and a stroke and cancer. And you might think, oh my heavens, no! That made my life much better. Now I cherish every minute of my life. You see, I value it and I want to fulfill it even more because I went through that. But there are a few principles I picked up along the way about aging. The first is, once you get to a certain age, well, let's face it, you're more than halfway, and that means you're probably never going to feel better than you do right now, no matter how bad you're feeling. So go for it. Enjoy the moment. And the second principle about getting old is the body has lots of moving parts. Find one that works and focus on it. The most important thing in my life is everything that's intimate to me. The people I love, my wife, my family, my relationship with God. Those are the critical things, and they mean the most to me. So if somebody comes to me with an opportunity and they want to use some of my time, well, I know those 7 priorities. If there's money on the table, well, I want the money. But I don't want the money as much as I want 1 through 6. And if I can get priorities 1 through 6 into a deal, well, I'll give up a fair amount of money. And I've done that several occasions because I knew exactly what I wanted to do to fulfill my life. The big lesson here in this video is spend your time wisely if you want to fulfill your life. But to spend your time wisely, you must know your priorities. Know what's important to you, and then you must spend your time accordingly.